A pair of buffs which really caught my eye were these two, the addition of kinetic tremors to the Huckleberry, and Peacekeeper's additional effect of being able to ramp up SMG damage to double by just hitting targets. I took this combination for a spin in Legend Onslaught, where it absolutely thrived, managing to get a full wave 50 Legend clear while feeling potent throughout even in the tougher waves. First, here's all the things you need to know about improved Peacekeepers. Each hit with any SMG will grant a stack shown on the HUD as damage boost, which will cap at times 20, each stack translating to a 5% boost to SMG damage. These are very quick to build, especially with higher rate of fire SMGs, but also just as quick to be lost, with all stacks being removed after just 1 second, making it a guarantee to be lost during reload. Essentially, it's kind of like target lock, but to a much stronger effect. With a weapon such as Huckleberry, however, which reloads itself on each final blow, this buff can be maintained from enemy to enemy, meaning you are consistently running a double damage weapon, and that is before any buffs you can apply on top of this. Peacekeepers also maintains all previous effects, such as increased movement speed while ADS, which is super nice to have, and the ability to auto-load stowed SMGs, which you might think is kind of pointless for Huckleberry, but it weirdly makes it viable as part of a boss DPS rotation. As for the Huckleberry itself, the key change is the addition of the perk kinetic tremors. Per 14 hits on a single target, 3 shockwaves will be generated, which damages all nearby targets, substantially increasing this weapon's overall damage and AoE potential. It also acts as a failsafe in securing the kill with sustained fire, which is very important in ensuring the Huckleberry is auto-loaded between enemies. Weirdly enough though, the kinetic tremors damage does not seem to scale with either the Huckleberry's other perk Rampage, nor the damage increase from Peacekeepers, which is odd as in normal circumstances it would be increased with either effect such as these. However, it is still a huge damage increase for simply landing shots, with each activation hitting for just under 30k against Carl. Huckleberry also maintains a stronger variation of Rampage, with max stacks providing a 66% damage increase rather than a typical 33. It also has the perk Ride the Bull, which increases fire rate as the trigger is held down, going from a base of 750 RPM to 937. More RPM meaning of course just higher DPS, but also a quicker activation of kinetic tremors. Outside of these two gear choices, here's what I went with to make this setup work. It's a prismatic Titan build with variations made to suit the SMG playstyle and synergize with various seasonal artifact mods. Facet of Grace was used to grant bonus Transcendence energy upon kinetic weapon defeats. This is huge alongside Huckleberry to build Transcendent quickly. And it just being kinetic alone is great as you don't really have to worry about balancing light or dark too much. Facet of Protection and Facet of Purpose both help with survivability, as it is a close range playstyle, and if you are running Twilight Arsenal, the Void Overshield provided by Purpose is much more potent than it used to be, due to a buff it has just received increasing damage resistance from 50% to 70% while Overshield is active. For aspects, look, Prismatic Titans know this combination at this point. Consecration with Knockout is really good. But on top of that, just having Knockout gives all melee hits the ability to count as charged melees, and this is great as it activates Facet of Dawn every time providing Radiant. At the time of recording I didn't have access to all artifact mods, but did have a few which really aided this build, a key combination being between Powerful and Pain and Concussive Reload. Also having Suppressor Grenades and Facet of Dominance for another weakened source. With all of these, grenades and grenade launchers will weaken targets they hit, and defeating multiple weakened targets will grant Devour. Devour is the elemental buff Prismatic Titans are desperate to get in order to fuel an aggressive playstyle, and this is a good way to cheat out that buff. Debilitating Wave could also be used if you have the tonic to activate its second effect of weakening nearby targets upon performing a finisher. And of course there's always the option of Overload SMG. In an activity such as Onslaught, the playstyle is focused on maintaining consistent high damage via Huckleberry's enhanced Rampage, auto-loading capabilities, and Peacekeeper's ability to double all of this. This is easily done against red bar and major enemies, but against higher health targets and bosses, this is where the weaken effect via grenade launchers can come into more effect. I used either Wildstyle or Wilderfly as a special ammo option, as this frame is great and both run either auto-loading or reconstruction, so they are ready to go whenever you need to fire them into a priority target. Against these type of targets is where the Huckleberry's usage can also be adapted. since Peacekeepers auto-load stowed SMGs, and the burst from kinetic tremors is not terrible. It allows for a makeshift swap weapon. Dumping a mag of Huckleberry between special and heavy gel shots was actually quite effective. For a heavy option, a grenade launcher does seem to be the play. I'd take Cataphract over Edge Transit if you have one, as Darkness Transcendent energy will typically fall behind light, but either works. There's also kinetic impacts in the final artifact column too, which will give heavy grenade launchers kinetic tremors. I've not tried this yet, but I could also see this setup working on Smg Titan if you have full artifact support for that. If you do try this, let me know how you found it, but my suggestion would be to run Whisper of Rending, as this allows primary weapons to deal double damage to frozen targets, making the Huckleberry even better. Thank you for watching.